Hi, welcome to how to make a floral arrangement. These are all flowers from our garden. You can also use flowers from the supermarket. It does not matter. Welcome. First of all, you're going to need a vase. This is filled with water. I have a cake stand. You can also use a Lazy Susan, and you'll need a pair of shears. I'm starting by dividing my stems into shortest, medium, and long. I have my focal flowers in the medium, more of my thicker flowers in the shortest stem, and my longest stems are kind of like my fluttery pieces. I'm starting with foliage pieces, just editing, pulling off some leaves, and I've placed one on each side, making like a four-corner situation, filling my vase with some density before color. Then I'm going to start grabbing my thicker flowers that are going to kind of hide the bits of the base. I'm cutting the stem at about a 45-degree angle just so that when you set it in the vase, it can still drink water. It's not sitting flat, flush to the bottom of the vase. And you can see I'm just adding kind of opposite of each other, just filling the space, almost like four corners. And I'm placing some kind of fun ones. I like if there's a little bit of bend in the stem. Sometimes if you buy them from the grocery store, you're not going to get as much of a bend. But they're so fun to add in. And don't be afraid to edit with your shears as you go, filling any open space with beauty. Back and forth, opposite sides of each other. And I also like to group things by color. You can see I've grouped the dahlias kind of pinky on one side in clusters so that it doesn't look so polka dot like, just having different colors all over the place. I like to put the tones near each other. You can see I'm adding these focal flowers in now. I'm going now into like a softer peach, into a white, and kind of grouping the dahlias together just like you'd see in a garden. You can see I'm working with tone here, and I like the more pink and green added by the beautiful pink dahlias here. So you can see I'm just popping those in. It just looks so beautiful. God's creation of flowers are just amazing. So I have this rose here. And sometimes if you have roses, you'll see they'll have some imperfections on their petals. So I just popped those off. And I almost like the bud look. I kind of extended it slightly, but um, to have fun with it. Don't be afraid to play around. And you can see I'm starting to cluster my tones again. So I've got this beautiful orangey rose, and then these are zinnias by Floret. Um, I believe they're called Alpenglow. They're absolutely beautiful. They're like this kind of burnt orange. Adding some echinacea in here by these beautiful pink zinnias. And zinnias are just such a great flower to add into your bouquets. They're so beautiful. They're so versatile. They have a decent vase life. You can see just popping them in here. And don't be afraid to adjust your stems. See if it'll fit first before you cut. You don't want to cut your stems too short. So don't be afraid to take your time and just place them as you go and measure as you go. All right, now moving on to our longer stems, fluttery pieces. These are the skinniest stems that I have opposed to a thicker stem that has a lot of foliage. So I'm going to fit those in first before I put my bulkier stems in. I kind of like the tones of the echinacea and the dahlia, and these kind of almost have like a purpley fuchsia hue to them in the sunlight, and so I'm adding them in. And I kind of like the pinnacle look to go off to one side, one direction, to draw the eye upward in a certain area. You see, I have my white dahlia over here, so I want to add more white height to draw the eye up, just to notice that beautiful dahlia. And then I have these beautiful pinnacle, I believe these are a form of bee balm, and I'm just placing them in also in that same area to kind of draw the eye upward, but just have a different texture. I also like, they call these dancers, but they're cosmos, but they kind of look like fluttery dancing flowers. So I like to place those in last just to kind of have something that's going to move in the wind if it's placed outside, or just something that kind of looks a little more elegant and soft. You can see we pop those in. And don't be afraid to play around with it. And if you have to move it, sometimes I get a little wild here. You can see I have it off kind of bent to the side, but it draws your eye down. Last, I have this beautiful dill, and it kind of looks like fireworks. That's why I like it, but this is a nice bent stem here. Pop that, and it kind of draws the eye in the opposite direction from the fluttery cosmos. But just popping these in like little fireworks dancing off the top. And don't be afraid to back up and look at what you're doing from afar. It gives you a different perspective. And yeah, just keep spinning and placing. And usually it's easier for me to start with my shortest, my medium, and my long, and then building up in height. I hope you enjoy the flowers. Again, just get creative. The point is to have fun and to enjoy yourself. So here is a look at the finished product. Just really beautiful flowers. I don't have to do a whole lot. Really, you can't mess it up because God's creation and flowers are so beautiful that no matter what you do, it's about having fun with it. But these are just some tips if I get a farmer's market bouquet or some flowers from the store. This is a really good go-to. And of course, from the garden. Enjoy God's beautiful creation.